control. Breach in 5, 4, 3.
What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on another glorious and well-deserved day off in the frozen wasteland that is currently central Nebraska. It got cold. And guys, today we're going to take a look at another installment of Uncomfortable Truths surrounding the Minutemen scenario and people with gear in general. So if that sounds fun and interesting to you, go ahead and like, subscribe, tell a friend. The channel's growing. It's amazing. If you're looking to support the channel, check down in the description box down below and you will find a link that will take you to my Linktree account where all of the affiliates of the channel live. People like Dark Angel Medical, Dry Fire Mag, C&H Precision, Tyrant CNC, Sportsman's Guide. If you were going to do it anyway and you use those links, it helps the channel, and for that, I thank you. If you're looking to get in touch with me, it's at UncleFreedom213 on Facebook or Instagram, or UncleFreedom213@outlook.com. So, the Minutemen stuff. Minutemen Scenario. Minutemen. All right. So, if you are unfamiliar with how we got into this Minutemen situation, talking about this stuff, I'll leave a link up here that'll take you to the first video in the series that is a big, giant 30,000-foot overview of what the Minutemen layout series is. And in doing that, I've come across certain uncomfortable truths, most of which were derived directly from people's comments or people talking to me about stuff that's just poorly informed. So, let's get started. I don't carry with one in the chamber. I'm just going to rack the slide when I draw. Well, that is certainly how, like, you end up in that meme where it's like, and then you're just looking around like, I racked the slide, didn't I? Yeah, you don't have, that's like, gunfights last seconds. This is not like a lot of time. The amount of training you would have to go through so that you racked it every single time, is it possible? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm telling you it's improbable. I am telling you that every layer that you put between you and a fully functioning firearm in a situation in which someone wants to kill you is a bad idea. Practice, train, get educated, buy a solid quality holster and a serviceable, great condition of firearm, and you won't have to worry about it. I'm just telling you, you're not going to rack the slide. It's just don't do that. I've heard that way too many times. No. This one has been covered in the concealed carry video of Minutemen. It's been covered also in the ammo considerations for the Minutemen fighting rifle, and that is full metal jacket. It's all I carry, because if it's good enough for the government, and I know it'll be reliable. This makes my eye twitch. So for those of you that did not catch the previous videos, I'll give you a brief overview. The reason the government uses full metal jacket is the Hague Convention, which stated that flattening or expanding projectiles inside of the body were not for use in international warfare. They also use it because it's really easy logistically to only ship full metal jacket ammo. It's the reason there's not a lot of difference in different kinds of ammo. I will also tell you that as someone who's been issued some really neat systems over his life, I have shot a whole lot more delinked M80 ball out of a M110 than I ever did M118LR, which is 175 grain Sierra Match King. I will also tell you that I have shot far more M855 than I ever did Mark 262 out of a Mark 12 because they couldn't get the ammo that went to it. Logistics are a problem. Full metal jacket is not where it's at. Ever. It's never going to be the answer. Like, full metal jacket pokes holes in things. And yeah, to some extent, handguns poke holes in things, rifles put holes through things, shotguns, right load, right distance, will physically remove a chunk of crap from your attacker and throw it on the floor. Thank you, Clint Smith. That is awesome. However, Full Metal Jacket is severely limited. And I will say this the way I've said it before, which is, why would you ever intentionally handicap yourself with a less effective option when you have the option to carry stuff that is more viable to defend your life with? That is just stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. I have nothing but 8.55 because government. We hated it too, man. It was a terrible round. So I'll give you a history lesson on the 8.55. The 8.55 round, green tip, right? 62 lap. That was actually originally designed to be used in a belt-fed system known as the M249 SAW as a suppressive round with the ability to penetrate a certain Russian steel pot at such a distance. But then the government logistically decided, well, if it works there, it's good for everybody. So we all got issued it, which wasn't totally a problem because we were running 20-inch barrels. But then we went to a 14.5 in the M4 and we started producing ice pick wounds, and the consistency with which the 8.55 delivered a terminal payload went way down because it was inconsistent. It just is what it is. There are much better options out there. Don't handicap yourself because the government did it, okay? Use the best option you can use. Don't intentionally put yourself at a disadvantage if this ever came to fruition because the government used it. That is not a good idea. Number 3. 3 or 4 o'clock concealed carry is the only safe place you can carry a firearm. You carry appendix, you flag yourself. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of videos out there, and I have seen this in person. A lot of people, when they go to reholster here, they actually end up pointing it at themselves. Or they flag their thigh, their butt, whatever. I will tell you, the amount of your body that a gun covers as you reholster at 3 or 4 o'clock is more, far more bodily tissue gets covered holstering at 3 or 4 o'clock than ever gets covered holstering it at appendix. You're afraid of appendix because the most important part of your anatomy is contained there. That is why you are nervous about it. However, with a proper holster and proper weapon manipulation skills, not really a problem, not really a danger. But a lot more people get shot back here, 3 or 4 o'clock than ever do up front. It's just kind of how that goes. Oh, I like this one. I got my rifle, my main squeeze. $4,000 is what it cost me to get this bad boy here. Check out this optic I got. I got it on Amazon. It's got a laser and light, and it's all attached to each other. Why? Why are we doing that? That is not what is wrong with you. I will put it to you this way. When we are dealing with a rifle system, the rifle being accurate is actually the most important thing we can have, because if it doesn't hit what you're aiming at, it's useless. The second most important part is reliability, meaning if it doesn't consistently run enough for you to hit what you're aiming at, it's also a stick. It's useless. However, if the primary mode in which you are going to align things up so you can make accurate hits is the cheapest thing you can find that loses 0 every time you bump it, it is also useless, and it just made your really awesome firearm super useless. Don't skimp on optics. Don't skimp on I don't care how good of a deal it is. Don't buy that crap. Spend your money. And I hear people all the time, they're like, $1,000 for an optic. I will tell you, as someone that shoots a lot of long distance stuff and precision rifle work, that it is not uncommon for the optic to cost more than the rifle. Now, I understand in today's economy, that is not something we can all do. But I will also tell you that an EOTech is like $600, man. That's a rock star reliable optic. You can get an Aimpoint Pro for under $500, and that is a bomb-proof red dot. You do not have to buy the cheapest thing you found because it was on there and it said sniper in the name. No, bad. Don't do it. If you're going to spend the money to build out an excellent system, even if you are going to spend the money to build out a mid system at best, your optic matters so much. Because if your zero doesn't stay true or you have crippling parallax problems, all you did was put on something that gives you a false sense of your capability when it doesn't exist. So don't cheap out on your optics, guys. I've seen this argument before. I don't know how it's still an argument when companies like Primary Arms exist. It doesn't make any sense. I like this one too. And I get into this one a lot with people. Man, it's dumb. I can't believe anybody'd spend that much money on insert your item. NVGs, optics, flashlights. Oh, no way I'd spend that kind of money on that. I can't believe they would spend that money. It's not your freaking money, dude. Who cares? If you want to be cheap and use subpar equipment, whatever. Most of the time I hear this argument, it is actually not somebody that is against the item. It is somebody that is upset and jealous because they don't have the money, the disposable income, or the financial aptitude to just save money and stop buying stupid crap to buy high quality optics or night vision or even a really good flashlight. Like, yes, this is a $260 flashlight. You can have this stuff if you save your money and get it. I have no idea when we decided in America that it was going to be an okay thing for me to talk crap about what somebody else who clearly has better financial common sense than I did to do with their money. It's not your money. Who cares? I tell people this all the time. We talk about building out rifles and handguns. I don't have to shoot your stuff. So build it the best way you can, but most important is that if it's dumb and it works, it's not dumb. However, jumping down people's throat or talking crap about people or making it your whole entire personality trait, it's dumb to spend that kind of money on stuff, is the stupidest thing I have ever seen. Again, we're supposed to be a community, all gun-loving people. Sing Kumbaya, get over yourself, stop buying Starbucks coffee, save your money up, and then get into the gear you actually want. Stop buying cheap crap and then coping with the fact that you bought cheap, subpar crap by talking crap about people who have enough common sense with money to buy really good stuff. It is a terrible look and you should stop doing it. Yeah. You'll tell I've seen that one a few times. Here's one of my favorite ones. Now, I just said don't talk crap about people. I will say that it is okay to go to somebody and be like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. This guy goes out and buys a beautiful Shadow 2 compact, the Shadow 2 compact. Oh, God, sexy handgun, right? And then they go out and they get it milled and they put a beautiful Trijicon SRO on there, like chef's kiss. And then he buys an Enforce weapon light. Like, you were so close, man. So close. Don't buy your stuff because it looks cool. That is usually where I will see people with the Enforce, like the old, APL or APC, like the smaller weapon lights. Back before the Streamlight TLR7A came around, people bought them because they had that flush fit look on like a Glock 19. It's very aesthetic. It looks good on Instagram. However, Instagram does not have to get into whatever fight you end up getting into with that system. You need to buy stuff because it works. You did so well until you got to this part where you just cheaped out. And maybe you cheaped out because you didn't see that capability made you better. Don't do that. If you are going to buy a high quality system with a high quality optic, the next most important thing you're going to have on a handgun or rifle is the ability to positively ID stuff in bad lighting. Don't cheap out on your light. Spend the money, get a good light. It's got 2,000 lumens, like the ProTac 2.0 from Streamlight. It's got 2,000 lumens. It's got like 9,000 candela. You can't positively ID stuff like 40 yards away. And God help you if you hit weird photonic barriers, because you're not going to cut through them with that light because it doesn't have the candela to do it. Somebody's going to argue that and be like, light can't eat light. No, you're right. Light does not physically absorb other light. But what light does do is it provides a sufficient enough barrier for our eyes to not see that our light actually went through it, because we can't see through the weird photonic barrier. However, lights with high candela that really like punch through things, those will actually cut through so we can see it. Food for thought. Oh, I heard this one. Somebody said this one after my concealed carry Minutemen video, and that was that all hollow points are the same. The reason people buy different kinds are marketing. I don't even know where to start with that. Like, here's the thing. I understand that some people have never been present at a ballistics lab. I understand that people have never fired into ballistics gel. I understand that now we have clear ballistics and everybody thinks that that is the standard by which all things are judged. It is not. Clear ballistics gel will never be true ordnance, calibrated ordnance gel. It's just not. And while, yes, some cheaper hollow points do work, for the vast majority of things, technology increasing at the level it did is the reason we closed the gap between 45 and 9 mil to begin with. There is effectively zero terminal difference between a 45 ACP shooting a critical duty round and a 9 mil shooting a critical duty round. That technology is a real thing. And regardless of how you think this stuff actually works, bullet technology is a real thing. There are people that make a whole lot of money figuring out a better mousetrap for a bullet that defeats barriers and still works when it hits the target. They're not all the same. Please don't fall into that trap. If you want to stockpile 10,000 rounds of Remington 124 grain, just basic hollow point, by all means do it. But your primary loading needs to be a very, very good round. For me, again, money where the mouth is, critical duty, 135 grain plus P. That is what I use on the vast majority of all of my concealed carry firearms. That is what I like to use. I even use critical duty on duty in my duty firearm at work, but they're not all the same. Stop perpetuating that. They're very different, man. Technology's come a long way. Oh, this is a good one. If you modify your gun, you're gonna go to jail. That is not true. Now, I will say, if you have like smile and wait for the flash or something on the rear plate on your Glock, that's dumb. I would take that off, right? Because that could be argued as to the mens rea behind why you killed somebody. Mens rea being mental reasoning or the mental state at which made that decision. So your mental thought process as to why you did what you did. However, putting a better trigger, putting a red dot sight, having a flashlight on your firearm, putting colored things on there, none of that is going to do it unless you do something that specifically decreases the safety of the firearm and whoever you wounded is a result of whatever dumb decision you made. That is a different thing. However, having Punisher skulls and all this crap on your that doesn't look good. It's more of an optics thing, but they will take that into account and try to use it based upon that. I didn't say they'd win. I'd say they would use it because that absolutely does happen. However, you being thrown into jail because you put a red dot on your handgun, not a thing. You doing it because you put an aftermarket trigger, as long as that trigger is still safe, it's not a thing. Okay. Oh, this one drives me nuts, guys. This one hurts my heart in ways I don't think I can understand, and I have seen it be far too common. And that is, I leave my really nice Glock or my Staccato at home, and I carry my Taurus because if I have to defend myself, I don't want to lose my nice gun. You understand, if you lose the gunfight, though, that doesn't matter, right? Like, bullets fix stupid real quick. That is a self-correcting problem. You not carrying the gun that you're most competent on because you don't want to lose it to evidence, because it's going to get taken away, guys. They're not just going to go, well, that was a good shoot, here's your thing. That's not how it works. Your stuff will end up in evidence until you're cleared of wrongdoing. Now, that could take weeks and months, depending on what's available for information, but it could take years. It's a real thing. It happens, right? It's a part of the landscape. The world that we live in now punishes people for defending themselves at a pretty high rate right now. You're going to have that firearm taken away from you. I will tell you, even as law enforcement, if we get into a shoot, we lose the handgun for a bit, right? But not carrying the gun that you're most comfortable on and confident and proficient because you're afraid if you had to use it, you would lose it to evidence, that is going to be a real comforting thing to your wife's family because they ended up hurting your wife because you weren't as good and you had a malfunction with your other gun because you didn't want your nice one to get. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't even have words, really. That is just big time dumb. I don't carry my really nice stuff that I have the most amount of time and consistency on because I don't want to lose it to evidence. Buy another one. You bought the damn thing to defend yourself. If it worked, awesome. This one kind of tailors into the, I don't understand why people would spend that much money on stuff. And that is the people that are constantly naysaying that they can't afford things. I see this all the time. Oh man, I would love to have a really nice pistol with a red dot on it, a light. I can't afford it right now. I bought steel plates right now. I'm gonna save up to get this. I just can't afford it right now. If you saved your money and only bought it once, you could. You don't want to hear that because that means you have to lay off of some stuff that you like to do. This game is all about priorities. If your priority is to build out a rockstar plate carrier that serves you in all environments and is set up the way you want it, that needs to be your goal. Don't buy 2 or 3 really cheap ones with crappy ceramic plates or Chinesium ceramic plates or steel plates because they're going to work until you save the money for the other ones. No, stop blowing money on things, right? If this is what you really want to do, a lot of times hard truth is what you need to be told. And that is, like for me, I'm a Monster energy drink guy, but I will tell you, as someone that drinks 2 Monsters a day, that's roughly $5 a day. So $35 a week. You with me? Right? You still with me? $140 a month. Right? I could buy all kinds of crap with just the money from my Monster energy drinks. If I cut off one of the 2 a day, think about the people that buy expensive coffees, or if you buy stuff from a gas station all the time instead of bringing stuff with you to work. There are ways for you to save money, to spend the money on stuff you want, but you have to set your priorities and you have to be okay with being a little uncomfortable in order to get to what you really want. But if what you really want is super important, stop complaining and woe is meing about how you can't buy this stuff and figure out a solution and hustle until you can. Dad advice. Oh, I like this one too. I have an AK because AR-15s will never be as reliable as AK. Okay, tell me in the Vietnam era think that you have that was told to you by your great uncle who told you how it was a piece of crap and it jammed constantly, why you don't like the AR-15. That is one of the dumbest. AR-15s are reliable. They are. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, AR-15s are reliable. Typically, when an AR-15 is unreliable, it is due to the fact that you bought a just as good version or a cheap version that you keep woefully defending against all comers, telling everyone how you got 7,000 rounds on it with no malfunctions because it's the one you've got. Bear Creek Arsenal or whatever was fucking amazing. That is where you're at, right? That is your solution to everything. You're also the guy that buys the 1 AK from Palmetto State Armory, puts 1,000 rounds through it, and tells everybody how it's a rock star, it's bomb-proof, it's all this crap, it's just as good as any Wasser or anything like that. It's not true, right? That is where I hear this argument of how AR-15s are not reliable. They are not reliable because you bought really cheap stuff. Cheap stuff isn't reliable, man. Oh, and this one, I'm gonna make somebody mad, and that's okay. I saw somebody talk about, for most people, Condor or Rothko plate carriers would be more than enough for all they would need. You might be right. However, I will tell you, as somebody that has worn really cheap plate carriers and very expensive plate carriers, there is a big difference in how that thing carries weight, comfort, breathability, all of that stuff is ultra important if you ever intend to put it on and do anything other than take a picture to put on Instagram. It's true. It's real life. Don't buy subpar equipment with the intention that you got it because you got it now and then I'm going to save the money and buy this later. Don't be passing off your super cheap equipment on tax swap with somebody else. No. Save your money and buy something good with it. I will tell you, as somebody who has made this mistake numerous times, if I had just bought what I wanted initially, I would have spent half as much money. Everybody does it, man. It's a real thing, and it happens all the time. Please don't do that to yourself. And last but not least on this one is, and I love this so much, you can't do that. You lose all fine motor function in a high-stress environment. Do we now? I don't know if you know what this means, but this is a fine motor function, which means if we lose all fine motor function under high stress, that means we can't pull a trigger. So all defensive training for firearms is moot, and it doesn't exist. And nobody's ever done it before because we lose all fine motor function under stress. That's crap. It's BS. You can train through anything. Please don't believe that and stop repeating it to people. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Hopefully you enjoyed this today. There'll be another version of this coming out pretty soon. So until next time, guys, you take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, I'll see you later.